I'm going to show you how to make a kinetic element using 2 pancake dies and a pattern plate from Potter USA. To pattern the metal, I insert the plate and my metal into the rolling mill, tighten the rolls down so there's no slack, then remove the stack. Return the handle to where it was tight on the stack, and then do a quarter to a half turn and roll your metal through. Every mill is different, so experiment to see what works for you. To make the dangle, we're going to use pancake die 1407. Do not anneal your metal. Insert it into the pancake die with the texture side facing down and cut a blank using the pancake die. If the blank gets stuck in the pancake die, hold it in your hand and tap the pancake die tab with a rawhide mallet. Next, you want to remove the tab. I'm using a 4/0 saw blade in one of Potter USA's saw frames. Then file and sand all of the edges of the dangle. To create a stem, I'm using 12 gauge round sterling silver wire, and I'm using a ball peen hammer to texture the wire and give it a little bit more interest. I decided it needed some leaves, so I cut a blank using pancake die 1561 using the same metal. To make it look like it is attached to the stem, I want to make a V-shaped bend in the center of these leaves. Use a pair of round nose pliers and pinch the center and then form both of the leaves up tight around the jaws of the pliers. You can see when the stem is inserted, it looks a little bit more natural. Next up, use hard solder to attach the stem to the leaves. Make sure to apply flux and heat the piece evenly until the solder flows. And there it goes. Trim the long end of the stem to your desired length. Then use a ball peen or a planishing hammer to hammer the very end to create a paddle shape. This is where you will attach the dangle, so you need to make it wide enough to accommodate a drilled hole. To drill a hole, make a divot near the end using a scribe or an awl. Press down and rotate it in a circular pattern to create a small divot. Then use a number 65 drill bit to drill a hole at the divot. You may need to enlarge this hole later depending on the size jump ring you use to attach the dangle. Repeat to create a divot and drill a hole in the dangle itself. And now you can attach the flower petal to the stem using a jump ring. Make sure your jump ring is large enough so that the two pieces can dangle freely. I like to add a little bit of dimension, so before I finished the dangle, I domed it slightly, and now I'm using round nose pliers to create inward and outward bends to give them a more petal-like shape. I would suggest covering the jaws of your pliers in painter's tape to prevent marring the metal. You can also do the same thing on the leaves. And here is the finished earring. At the short end of the stem, I hammered a flat paddle as well and drilled a hole for the ear wire. You could play around with different textures, mixed metals. There are lots of possibilities for creating a springtime kinetic flower earring. Thanks for watching.